Today we're going to look through an exclusive mode that looks back at the early days of NXT. We're going back to WWE 2K15 and asking, who got NXT? For this first section, we are playing as Sami Zayn. This is not the Sami Zayn that you may recognize from today, but this is how Sami debuted in NXT. And our first match here is against the one and only Antonio Cesaro, although even at this point he had dropped the Antonio part. This is the 360 version of WWE 2K15. Of course, the Who Got NXT mode is exclusive to that version of the game. This was a really weird transition period between the next gen version on PS4 and Xbox One and the previous gen versions obviously still being released. But obviously 2K decided to release a exclusive mode for the last gen version of the game. So this is where the Who Got NXT comes from. Oh, we're going for a blue thunder bomb. So the object of the Who Got NXT mode is to essentially just win the match by completing the objectives, and we can do that by hitting the haluva kick. We have to now do a leverage pin, which I hope is down on the D-pad. There it is. That's going to be a rope break. Hopefully the referee doesn't realize. Oh, the referee doesn't care. Well, we just hit a signature Blue Thunder Bomb and a haluva kick. So all we need to do now is win via the leverage pin, and then we have completed the match. The object of each match, we just have to complete these objectives, but that isn't to say we can't have fun in the meantime. And that's the leverage pin right there. So we just completed the 3 objectives in Who Got NXT, or at least this is the first match. We have 5 matches to do in the Sami Zayn tier. So let's move on to our next match, which is against We the People, Jack Swagger. Our aim of this match is to moderately damage Swagger before he moderately damages me. That is to get essentially the limb damage to orange, and we'll see if we were able to do that. So far, not so good. I guess really it isn't much of a kind of thrilly mode. It's more of a no thrills. Here's an arcade style tier system. So you're going to be facing each tier has a match, or 4 matches I think, and you just have to complete the objectives in the match. You don't really get anything for it necessarily, but it's still very cool. And at the end, you do unlock another game mode, which we will be looking at in another video, but we will get there when we get there. All right, we got Swagger to moderate damage, and now we have to hit a diving crossbody. So if Swagger can get back up to his feet, that would be amazing. Ironically, I have actually already hit him with a diving crossbody, but unfortunately that was obviously earlier in the match, so now I'm going to have to do it again. That is the diving crossbody there, so we just have to hit a haluva kick, and then we could get the win. Referee's going to have to move out the way though. Swagger now in critical damage. I've pressed the wrong button. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we actually need to defeat him with the haluva kick, I just realized. So I'm going to have to do more damage actually, because I'm going to have to get another finisher. That's a haluva kick. We have a rope break. This sucks. All right, this is going to be our 3rd haluva kick, I think. Thing is, I need to move him away from the rope. So if we go to the other side and roll him over for the pin, sorry, we should be able to get the 3 count, and that is the win. That is another successful win, which means we are moving on to our next match in the Sami Zayn tier. You know him now as one of the lead commentators on normal WWE TV, but before all of that, he was in NXT as a pro wrestler, I should say. His name is Cory Graves. Our objectives here in this match against Graves is just to get him critically damaged and to avoid our moderate damage ourselves. Once we do this, there will be another objective unlocked, but we need to get there first. With another blue thunder bomb, that should put Cory into critical damage. It didn't though. I thought it would, but it didn't. Well, that puts Cory into critical damage, which means we now have to do the sunset flip powerbomb. I have no idea how to do that. I have to do a signature move, which is really unfortunate. So I'm going to see what Sami's standing finisher is. Oh, it's that neck hold thing. Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, so we don't want to do that finisher, and we don't want to do the Helluva Kick, although maybe I should have, but he's already in red damage anyway, so it doesn't matter. We do want to get the sunset flip powerbomb, which is fine because that is a signature, which should be a little bit easier to get to. So we have a signature now, so we need to do a running pinfall. I don't think I need to do a pinfall, actually. I just need to hit the powerbomb, which is what I just did. So that's hopefully not going to push him in the ropes. Okay, he's very close to the ropes there, but that is another win for Sami Zayn. Cory Graves proving to not be too much of an issue here for Sami Zayn. But now we move on to our final opponent. This is the first ever NXT pay-per-view, or PLE if you're modern. This is NXT Arrival, and the match that we have been given here in the mode is once again the King of Swing, Cesaro, in a singles match. Our goal is to moderately damage Cesaro, and he's going to kick the all kinds of hell out of me in this match. Cesaro here with the offense already has a signature, and he's just nailed me with that signature. I don't know if I can... Okay, so the pin mechanic is quite fair here, so I can kick out of that. But now Cesaro has a finisher, and he is gonna look to do on me. So if you didn't know the history of NXT, this NXT Arrival was the first PLE that they put on the WWE Network. This was to signal the launch of the WWE Network back in the day. I think it was in like 2014, I could be wrong. But yeah, that was the first show. I actually think it was oh, sugar, I forgot about diving finishers. That's probably going to be me. Oh, I kicked out at one, never mind. I'm pretty sure NXT Arrival was headlined by Bo Dallas and Adrien Neville in a ladder match for the NXT Championship. And I remember at the time, I really wanted to watch that event. I just thought what they were doing was so cool. The fact that they were going to be able to, like... I mean, the WWE Network was revolutionary in so many ways. And I was really hoping it would launch in the UK at the same time, but it didn't. I need to kick out Cesaro's finisher? I just did that. I don't think I will kick out of his finisher. Well, we'll give it a go. Well, there's his finisher. He's going to drag me away from the ropes. I don't think I can kick out of this unless I've got resiliency. That's really annoying. Well, we're going to have to do a reset on that one because Cesaro gets the win because I didn't realize that I had to kick out of his finisher. We've gotten back to where we were. We're in a slightly better position. Cesaro does have a finisher, which I guess I can't reverse because I'm going to have to kick out of it, unfortunately. We'll see if we can kick out. I'm not very good at these mechanics, these timed mechanics. But thankfully, yes, I wasn't hurt enough. So we were able to actually kick out of that one. So Sami Zayn's Torpedo DDT is to do something in the corner. It's an OMG moment, but I can't remember how you do it. You need to have 3 finisher icons? Oh my god. Alright, well, guess we're doing more damage then to Cesaro. So yeah, the WWE Network did not launch at the same time in the UK, and I really wish it had. It didn't launch for quite a while after, unfortunately, but there were certainly ways to get the WWE Network before... Oh my god, he just headbutted me straight up. There were definitely ways of getting the WWE Network before its official launch. And regardless of NXT Arrival, the other major launch event for the WWE Network at the time was WrestleMania 30, I believe. The one that was main evented by Daniel Bryan, Triple H, and Randy Orton or something? Oh no, we got a pinfall attempt here, but I'm just going to kick out of it, thank god. Okay, we now have 3 finishers here, so assuming he doesn't reverse it or some kind of reversal, we can actually do the torpedo DDT. It's an OMG moment. You need 3 finishers to trigger it. Cesaro has been thrown out of the ring on the other side, and we are preparing to shoot ourselves through the turnbuckle into that DDT position. That's an OMG moment. That's how you used to trigger them, and that's all of the objectives for this match. Of course, Cesaro has a finisher, and he's going to throw me back in the ring and probably just do his finisher and beat me, which is fine, I guess. The difficulty in this match is ramped way up, by the way. Cesaro's like reversing every goddamn thing that I do, and it's very... The referee's trying to fuck on me. Okay, suplex into a pin. Well, he's got so much damage on him. So much. That's ridiculous. He had so much damage done to him. Oh my god, we reversed it into a possum pin. That's surely got to be a 3 count. We rolled him up. We stole the win. And just like that, for the Who Got NXT mode, we have now completed Sami Zayn's tier. Oh, I see. So this is actually how you unlock these characters. I was actually thinking, what is this for? This mode isn't for anything. But I see now, this is how you unlock Sami Zayn for the whole game. So now I can use Sami Zayn in the other game modes like Exhibition, Universe mode, and whatever else is available to me, I guess. You may now know him as Pac in AEW, but he actually started in NXT as Adrien Neville. This next tier will take us through 4 challenging matches as Adrien Neville, starting here in this #1 contenders match for the NXT Championship against none other than the man that we were just playing as, Sami Zayn, making a quick return in this game mode, except this time we have to beat him to progress. So first off, playing as Neville is going to be a little bit different. Sami Zayn is also a high flyer, but potentially not as much as Neville is. Neville is almost primarily a high flyer, so I assume all of his attacks will be some sort of flippy shit. NXT at this time was known affectionately as the Black and Gold, so of course the color scheme for NXT at the time was black and gold. I always liked the black ring mat with the yellow ropes, but also the branding overall for NXT being much darker was actually a very good look for the show at the time. It was very, very different to something that you would normally see under the typical WWE regime. It was definitely more of a wrestling focused kind of show. They only really had 1 hour of TV to fill out, and I say TV loosely because it was a show that only streamed on the WWE network. But being on the WWE network afforded them a lot of really unique benefits. For example, they could really run a show for as long as they wanted. If it was 1 hour, it would be 1 hour. If it could be less, it could be more. It just depended on really what they needed at the time. They could also get away with some like edgier content, I guess. I don't remember there being overly edgy content at the time, but I guess they could have gotten away with some coarser language or storylines at the time if they were on the WWE network. I don't know if this is the true story, but the story goes that basically they wanted to rebrand NXT away from the kind of reality TV show that it had been, considering that had failed miserably. And the rumor goes that Kevin Dunn and Kevin Dunn and Vince McMahon did not really give a shit about the NXT brand, so they gave it to Triple H. They gave it to Triple H as a bit of a pet project to prove really that he could run a brand. And there was no really in return. It was just basically just to solidify the fact that Triple H could run a third brand, and they didn't really care about it. They didn't care about how good it was or how bad it was. Unfortunately for us, though, there was a time when the NXT brand did start taking off and it was doing really, really well. As a result, more eyes were on the product than ever, and they ended up start doing their takeover events. And the takeover events are still hands down some of the best shows you'll ever watch in like WWE history. I actually think it's pretty inarguable, really, that NXT absolutely laid the laid the groundwork. Sorry, I was thinking foundation and groundwork at the same time. it laid the foundation for much of what WWE is doing nowadays. But regardless of what WWE is doing nowadays, it absolutely laid the perfect blueprint for almost exactly what AEW would later become. The early days of AEW, especially those first maybe 2 years, absolutely reminded me of the black and gold NXT. They were so similar, so similar. There we are, kicking out of Sami's signature move. Now we have to defeat Zayn with the red arrow, if I remember rightly. That is a top rope maneuver here. Boom. Oh, we missed it. That's unfortunate. Anyhow, NXT would eventually start doing NXT TakeOver events that would run parallel to major pay-per-views with WWE on the main shows like Raw and SmackDown. But in some cases, they would like kind of outperform in a way. I think the NXT guys had a chip on their shoulder and they had something to prove. All right, we're going to go for red arrow number 2, and we land it perfectly with the pinning combination, which means that we have defeated Sami Zayn. With our first victory in tow, we now have 3 other opponents to worry about here. Adrien Neville moves on through this tournament, or gauntlet, or whatever this mode is. Of course, winning against Sami Zayn was a #1 contendership match, and I don't know about you, but I believe because we are facing Bo Dallas here in the main event of NXT Arrival, this is a ladder match for the NXT Championship. We have 2 very unfortunate challenges here in this match. We need to prevent Bo from ever touching the title, which is actually going to be really hard, I would presume. And we need to perform a plancha OMG moment. So we're going to have to get a bunch of finishers, and we're also going to have to really make sure that Bo never touches a ladder, which is going to be harder or easier said than done, I would presume. Alright, so we need to perform a plancha OMG moment, and I don't know how to do that. We have a finisher. I checked the objective menu and the pause menu. I only need 1 finisher for this. But the problem is, I don't know how to drag people. So, that's a problem. Oh, it's both triggers at the same time, leaning against the ropes. You trigger the finisher, and it should start the OMG moment. So here is the plancha OMG. Boom, that was awesome. We need to do a red arrow off of the ladder. That's kind of lame. Okay, I can probably just do it here actually. Oh, never mind. There's a ladder set up right there, which would actually be really perfect for what we want to do here, but I think Bo's going to be really awkward with a skull-crushing finale outside of the ring, which means I'm probably not going to be able to hit this signature. I keep screwing up these reversals as well, so it's just really unlucky for me here. It's really hard with that objective of not touching. I need to make sure that Bo doesn't touch the belt, which is really an unfair rule, or challenge, I should say. I don't know what the button is to do the finisher off of the ladder, though. Oh, okay, so we need to knock Bo off of... Well, oh, that actually wasn't that hard. And then we could do a red arrow off the top of the ladder. That is pretty sick. Now, how do we actually get the title is a whole other question. When you're on top of the ladder, you just have to do the right thumbstick to reach up for the title. I need to make sure that Bo doesn't do this, though. Okay, I'm actually just going to throw him out the ring because he's proven to be a little bit awkward for me here. Never mind. Fuck me then. I just don't know how to win these ladder matches, that's all. Oh, we just have to hold it and then pull down. And I won. And that was all the objectives that needed to be. Okay. Adrien Neville winning the NXT Championship on the first ever NXT pay-per-view. Congratulations to the first. Is he the first? I'm not sure. Either way, congratulations on winning the NXT Championship. Look, no one said it was ever easy being at the top of the mountain. Even though we are now the NXT World Champion, we have to face the likes of Cory Graves. We have a similar situation here. This is not a ladder match, but we do have to damage Graves' legs, and we need to avoid moderate damage. So we'll see how this one plays out here. All right, we've got Graves' legs to moderate damage, and we're at light damage as well, so we're actually not doing really well here, because if we get into moderate damage, then we will fail that objective. But before that, we need to defeat Graves with a red arrow, which we should be able to do here. Not if he reverses me, though. Let's go for another red arrow. I was able to get another finisher just by taunting outside of the ring. Didn't even do anything dramatic, but that was just enough, because if he hit my finish, or if he hit his finisher, we were done for. Adrien Neville moves on to the final match of his tier, but who is going to be the last match here? This is an NXT Championship match, and we are defending the title in a rematch against none other than Bo Dallas. Our first objective is to hit Bo Dallas with 4 top rope moves, which shouldn't be too hard considering Neville is quite the flippy bitch. Much like the previous match that we had, Bo Dallas is putting up a crazy amount of fight. The difficulty ramping on the final matches here is really unfair. Like Cesaro literally beat me in that last match with Sami Zayn, and it looks like Bo might end up doing the same here because he is just unforgiving. The other matches I'm not having too much trouble with, but the minute it comes to these final matches, I just kind of get my ass handed to me. So we have 1 diving move so far, and I'm really not having much luck with this. He just keeps reversing all my my diving attacks, so it's going to be really tricky getting the 4 that are required for the challenge here. Okay, so that is 2. We just have to do that again. We need another 2. Okay, that is 4. We now just have to hit with... never mind. We have to hit him with a red arrow. But Bo also has a finisher, which is not looking good for us. I don't know if we can hit a finisher while he's facing the other way. Okay, well, we finally got him on the right position. Let's go for... he blocked it. Now he's got 2 finishers. I don't think I'm going to be able to win this one, unfortunately, unless I can reverse his finisher. Oh, which I did! I blocked his finisher, which gave me a finisher, and now he's going to roll me up. And he nails me with his finisher because I wasn't paying attention. And that is probably going to be it, unless I'm saved by a rope break. But no, I fucking hate these stupid fucking pin games. Anyway, history has been changed. Bo Dallas has become the NXT champion. Let's run this one back so that we can do it properly this time. And I feel like this is going to be a running trend. I'm going to keep losing these last matches, but we're gonna go back. We're gonna run it back. We're gonna do this right. Okay, we've got another signature attempt, another finisher attempt, I should say. I tried one before, but he reversed it. Let's go for that one. And now we need to defeat Dallas with a reverse 450, which is to get another finisher and do it again. Great. This is my best chance. I've got a red arrow and I hit it. Now I just need to hit this reverse 450 and get the fucking win. Okay, well, pressing the B button seems to doesn't fucking do anything. Please tell me that counts. Okay, it does. That was a nightmare. That was an absolute nightmare match. That took me so long. Well, as frustrating as that match was, Neville has retained the NXT Championship, and that means that we have completed Adrien Neville's tier in Who Got NXT. The next tier that we are playing through is none other than Alexander Rusev. At this point, he's already dropped the Alexander, but we are going to begin our reign of domination as Rusev against a 2014 version of Xavier Woods. This is a very different Woods than you would expect from today's WWE. But yes, this... oh my god, look at his eyes. Our goals here are to critically damage Woods in 2 minutes and to avoid critical damage of our own. Should be fine. Oh my god, yeah, he's already in moderate damage within 30 seconds, not even. If we turn Woods over, we can submit him with the accolades, or not, because he's actually not damaged enough to be submitted, but it's fine because we'll just keep mashing the button. and he'll eventually break out. There is no way to win at this point, and I'm mashing buttons for nothing. All right, part 2 should be able to get him submitted this time. Yep, that wasn't hard. Our first match in Rusev's tier was relatively simple, just making Xavier Woods tap. And hey, Xavier Woods becomes an example for future opponents here. Xavier Woods' future buddy Kofi Kingston here in NXT. God, I completely lost my words there. In NXT, but he's going to feel the wrath of Rusev. Much like the previous match, we have to critically damage Kofi Kingston in 5 minutes, and likewise we have to avoid damage of our own. Already I can tell that this is going to be a slightly harder match, considering that the momentum now is probably not on fast because Kofi's not damaged from one combo. Xavier, however, was completely damaged by like one combo, so we have to submit Kingston with the accolade. I have to lick my fingers to get some traction on these goddamn buttons. The Xbox 360 buttons are not very good. They kind of hurt after a while. But yes, we have managed to submit Kingston with the accolade and avoid moderate damage. That was a very simple match, much like the Xavier Woods match. Man, words are hard now. This next match is quite the surprise. 619 Rey Mysterio making an appearance here in NXT. But hey, as Rusev, that means that we just need to destroy this little man even more. Our goals, much like the previous matches, we need to moderately damage Rey's legs in 3 minutes, and we need to avoid taking a 619. If we keep taking this kind of damage though, it's going to be a very quick loss for us. With Rey having so much damage, I've got 2 finishers. I need to lick my finger to do some damage here, but we're going to make him tap. And like that, Rey Mysterio taps, just like the rest. There we are, very little challenge for Rusev, but we have one more match in Rusev's tier, so we'll see if the challenge is met. Your eyes do not deceive you. This is a main roster star. This is Dolph Ziggler, former World Heavyweight Champion, going against Rusev. The objectives are clear once again. Drop Ziggler with a super kick, which is actually quite ironic considering that is kind of his, whole shtick. And we have to avoid light damage, which is actually quite hard to do because that's the first stage of damage. So we just need to make sure we don't really have any damage, but that's not going to work out for me here. If I get into light damage, then I'm just going to have to restart the match. There's not really much I can do about it. He might be ready. He might be ready for submit to the accolade. Oh, I don't think he is. Oh no, he is. That was very, very close. That took quite a few retries. After several retries, Rusev has finally made former World Heavyweight Champion Dolph Ziggler tap out to the accolade, which means we now transition over to playing as Cory Graves through his section of Who Got NXT, and his first opponent. He is 1/3 of the most dangerous faction in WWE. He is not Seth freaking Rollins. He is just part of the Shield, Seth Rollins, and he's got Dean Ambrose at ringside. He's actually got the whole Shield at ringside. Roman was there at the intro, or only Dean Ambrose was there at the intro, but now Roman's there as well. I don't know if this is going to affect how the match is going to play it for me, because it means now that there's a numbers game, right? My objectives here are to ironically damage Rollins' legs. And then we then need to drop him with a chop block, which I'm presuming could be a signature, could be a finisher, who knows? Oh god, Seth doing... In fact, Seth Rollins was the first NXT World Champion. So earlier on when I was saying Neville or Bo Dallas or whatever, I was talking shit. Seth was the first NXT Champion. And every day that he works, he proves that NXT was a good thing. And chop block. Nice. There we are. So that's that dealt with. Now we just need to get his legs to critical damage, which easier said than done for sure. Our final objective is just unlocked, and it is to submit Rollins with the lucky 13 submission. I don't know what that is, I'll be completely honest. So I'm just gonna wing it. Yeah, approach his legs and hit a finisher, and that's gonna do this, and then that should allow us to submit Rollins. With the submission, Rollins is tapping out. Cory Graves gets an epic win against Seth Rollins of the Shield, and that means we move on in the Who Got NXT mode to face one of the greatest standouts in NXT history, although he wasn't there for very long. Bray Wyatt alongside the Wyatt family is our next challenger. We have an interesting challenge this time. We need to do it without hitting any finisher. That doesn't mean that we can't hit a signature of some kind, but we are going to have to critically damage Wyatt on some body part, but also we have to win by not hitting a finisher, which sounds easier than it might be. But we'll see how this plays out. I think we're very close to getting Wyatt to critical damage here. Really just one more major attack on that head and he's going to be in red critical damage. Of course, now of all times is when he's going to prove to be awkward as hell. Also, we need to defeat him by submission. It is very tricky to beat someone by submission without using your finisher, obviously. So we're going to do our best here. I'm not sure what submissions I've got available to me. Every time I go for a submission here, Bray keeps reversing me. So it's going to be really tricky to figure that one out. It's also really annoying when, like, it's the same in the current games. Whenever they want to break out of the submissions, there is no way to get them back. This isn't really it's not minigame per se. It's not really like a challenge, as it were. It's more just like the game decides when they tap out. Okay, this match is really annoying me because he is just reversing every submission attempt I do, and I don't particularly find that very fair. Great. So he hit me with Sister Abigail, and I didn't reverse it because the indicator told me that I couldn't reverse it. So now I'm gonna get pinned, perhaps, maybe. It's just unfair. Like, I hate to call unfair, I hate to crybaby it, but like, I had him beat for ages and he reversed every submission I did. What was I supposed to do? So now I'm gonna have to replay the match because he just kept reversing every submission that I did. Is this probably not gonna work? Oh, maybe I just gotta... Oh my god, he used resiliency. What a fucking dick. What a dick. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on. Oh my days, that was just the worst. That was the worst. Well, Cory Graves grabs another successful victory over Bray Wyatt. It is the return of the former NXT champion, Adrien Neville, and we are facing him in a 2 out of 3 falls match. I'm really hoping that this will be a simple match. I've taken a very short break, but my arm is killing me. So here we go with this 2 out of 3 falls match. Our objectives are to score the first point via pinfall and to critically damage Neville's legs, which doesn't seem too hard. So we'll see how it plays out. We need to score the first pinfall by... we have to score the first point by pinfall, which we should be able to do hopefully pretty soon. Neville's not looking too hot. I've got 2 finishers, but I can't submit them, so... or at least not for this first fall anyway. I'm kind of going for a Hail Mary here. Let's go for a top rope move. The rollover. Let's try a pinfall off of that, see if that is enough, because he's not looking too hot. That is the first fall. Sweet. That does recover Neville to light damage, which means I'll probably have to do more limb damage again. Let's go for that finisher, baby. Come on. Yeah, there we are. Okay, so we got the pinfall on Neville, made him tap, and we got his leg damage to critical. That was a fairly simple match, but these submissions are killing my arm. Graves gets another successful win over Adrien Neville, and that puts him against a returning favorite from NXT, Sami Zayn, and he will be my final opponent as Cory Graves. So we have 2 very complicated objectives here. So the first one is to perform 2 signature moves or to perform rather both of the signature moves that he has. So that is the chop block and the backbreaker, which, to be fair, isn't really the worst thing ever. But the other one is critically damage all of Zayn's limbs. Now that will actually be quite hard. That will take quite a bit of time, but we'll figure that one out. And there may be a third objective afterwards as well. Usually it is like submit him with the Lucky 13 or something. So I guess technically we have gotten better at reversals so far, but these last matches in these challenges here, they do tend to be the hardest. So we'll see. I've lost in every single one so far, so let's see if Zayn is going to be awkward. This is signature number 2, so that's going to complete that objective, although we still need to do the limb damage. So even though we've got 2 finishers, we're not in a position to win here because we simply need to hurt his arms and legs. I mean, all of his limbs are damaged, are they not? I guess his head counts as a limb, I suppose. Okay, so finally now we can submit him with the Lucky 13 with 3 finishers and a full red body. This should be simple, and it was. Okay, well, you know, credit to him. That was tricky, but he didn't beat me, which means that he was officially the easiest one. Let's put my fucking webcam on. Sami put on a great effort, but it's now time to move away from Cory Graves and move on to Bo Dallas. This is our introduction of Big E Langston. He is the current NXT champion, and as Bo Dallas, we are coming for 5. I don't know. So Big E's whole thing at this time was that he would beat his opponents to the point where the referee can count to 5, and that was frequently how he beat opponents. He would drop that big ending. I think he was doing the big ending at that time, and yeah, the referee would count to 5. I do have to say though, it's quite nice to see the humble beginnings for a lot of these guys, right? When you think about it, you know, all of these guys go on to do something insanely, you know, unique. Bo Dallas goes on to become Uncle Howdy. Sami Zayn is still killing it on the main roster. Big E unfortunately has a neck injury, but he's doing amazingly well. He's doing amazingly well as a color or broadcast analyst, right, for the pre-shows and stuff. Cory Graves has also had a really unfortunate injury, but he becomes, you know, one of the best commentators that WWE has for a while. And also some of the other people that we've seen so far, you know, like Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston would obviously form the New Day alongside Big E. Seth Rollins would, you know, be part of the Shield, but then become the biggest world champion that NXT's probably seen. But hey, these rants will have to wait for another day because Bo Dallas has just become the new NXT champion, dethroning Big E Langston. Much like before, we are experiencing at the top of the mountain as we have to presumably defend the NXT championship against Antonio Cesaro. Your eyes do not deceive you. I have been recording for so long that my light has died, so it's no longer yellow in the background, even though I quite like the vibe. But hey, that's what I get for having a rechargeable battery light that doesn't work while plugged in. So we have 2 objectives here. We need to damage Cesaro, and we need to make sure that Cesaro does not hit us with a finisher. One should be easier than the other, that's for sure. I mean, doing damage to Cesaro is definitely something I'm versed in at this point, but stopping him from doing a finisher could also be a whole other thing. You know what's actually kind of crazy is the fact that Cesaro looks exactly the same as he does. He looks the same in this game as he does now. Oh, on that chair. So we need to get ourselves disqualified, which is a very unusual request for this mode. But we have done as the game requested. We've got ourselves disqualified, and that's how that match plays out, I suppose. So now we move on to another NXT Championship match with Sami Zayn. Our objectives are equally simple: critically damage Sami Zayn and then Irish whip him into an exposed turnbuckle. This is very much a heel Bo Dallas, it would seem, getting himself disqualified and using exposed turnbuckles. But hey, Whatever works, whatever gets you the win, that's really what counts. Sami Zayn, though, immediately using that exposed turnbuckle, which, I don't know, I feel like that's a super shitty thing to do, but what do I know? Alright, we've exposed that turnbuckle and used it to our advantage, which means now we just need to critically damage Zayn, which involves us just damaging any body part to red. Okay, so we need to defeat Sami Zayn via a leverage pin. So I'm going to go for this Future Shock DDT, which actually bust him open. Which I don't think we've actually seen blood so far. But this will hopefully allow us to go for a leverage pin on Sami and hopefully get that win. Bo retains the NXT Championship in a fairly simple match against Sami Zayn. But with that being said, we move on. This is the final match in the Who Got NXT mode. We are going up against none other than Adrien Neville. Our only objective here is to critically damage Neville. We have 2 hidden objectives, but we have to complete this first to see what the other 2 are, which is a little bit annoying because sometimes it will be like critically damage Neville, and then the next one will be like make him tap out by a leg submission, and that's just lame. Because what if I didn't damage the legs? Since this is the final match, I think I'm going to give some perspective here, some opinions on the mode. I really like the mode, to be fair. I like what they were going for. It's definitely like, it's just a small arcade mode with really simple, somewhat simple challenges that kind of provide some context, and it is based on the real show that was happening at the time. For example, we did Sami Zayn versus Cesaro at NXT Arrival. We also did Bo Dallas versus Neville at NXT Arrival in the ladder match. Like, these are all based on matches that actually happened. Where I think the mode does fall apart, however, is the difficulty spike. The last match in every tier is ridiculously hard, and it's not fair hard. I don't mind losing a match here or there or whatever, but the AI reverses every move that you do. Neville's actually being quite nice to me here, but like in the other matches, like they were just reversing everything that I did, and there were some matches there I had to redo like a lot of times. Like I had to restart the match with Ziggler a few times. Cesaro, that first one as well, really set me back. Like there were some restarts, right? And I didn't record all that. I kind of paused the recording so like I could just sit there in silence and just focus on the match. And like it's just, I don't know, like it was just really hard. Like but again, it didn't feel like a challenge. It felt like the game was just reversing everything I did. And sometimes the reversals in this game, I don't know if there's probably not an issue with this mode specifically, but the reversals in this game are really unfair. Like they really don't work. It's very odd. What I mean by that is you'll see the reversal icon above my head. You have a white colored icon or a grayed one, right? So if it is white, that means that I can reverse, and if it's grayed, it means that there is no reversal to be had, and that basically just means I've pressed the button too early usually. But like it doesn't, sometimes it's just gray, like it doesn't let you do anything, and it's very strange. We're going for that Future Shock DDT. I don't know what Neville what Bo actually calls that DDT, but as far as I'm concerned, Drew can have it. It's the Future Shock. The challenges and stuff as well are not that hard, which is quite nice. The objectives are simple. Probably the most complicated one I had was when it made me do that OMG moment with Neville, and it had me getting 3 finishers. That was probably the most complicated one. All the rest of them are really simple because they are literally just basic like damage-based stuff, like just limb damage and all the rest of it. Like I don't know, it's simple stuff. Saying that though, this spear barricade is one of the more adventurous moments that it wants me to do, so we're gonna do an oh my god moment, a spear through the barricades. That is awesome as hell, and I really like the OMG moment as well. We'd have to win via countout, to be fair. I'm just gonna get back in the ring. He may just stay out, to be honest. I can't hear the refs count, so I actually don't know what the ref's at. So we're just gonna have to wait, essentially, until the referee decides that 10 has been hit. You know, nowadays you can just count the referee's fingers, but oh no, that's a 10, so that's it. That barricade OMG moment caused Neville to get the count out, which means that we have retained our NXT Championship And I don't know about all you guys, but I believe more than anyone. And just like that, we have unlocked Bo Dallas to be used in everything in 2K25. What, is there going to be another screen to say congratulations, you've completed everything? Yeah, so if you complete all the objectives, which I have done, you unlock the NXT Arena, the championships, and NXT Arrival as well. So yeah, there is definitely benefits to doing it here, because you get the NXT Arena, championships, the Women's Championship, and the Arrival event as well. And just like that, we have completed Who Got NXT. We now have access to Proving Ground. The Proving Ground mode allows you to fight a super-powered John Cena with any of the 5 NXT superstars that we just used, and it is going to be an insane challenge. But I'm feeling up for the challenge, so if you want to see Proving Ground, then you better like the video, subscribe for more, and see how I fare in Proving Grounds. With that being said, that is us for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this Who Got NXT. It's a very different style of video, I guess, that I would normally do, but hey, we're just enjoying the holidays here. This has been a long recording session. I'm very tired, but it was good fun, and I think other than the difficulty, I think it's an awesome mode, and I'm glad it was included for the fans of the previous generation version of 2K15. And with that, I will see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye for now.